gonna be on the first ban, first pick. Diana was wondering where that ban was game one. Actually wondering where either ban or pick was there, but this game not gonna be a factor.
Yeah, I was wondering why Diana wasn't played when not being banned. But, you know, hey, Diana's not played every game. She's just a lot of fun to see. But we'll be banned out, so I'm kind of curious if they're planning on playing someone that, I don't know, maybe is vulnerable to Diana, or if they think that unrestricted maybe will switch it up to Diana. So we'll see where they go. They could grab the Gragas here, since, you know, Gragas is available.
Gragas
Maokai,
is open.
they could grab the Maokai. You know, there's a couple of strong champions. Those are kind of the two that, you know, really stick out.
The only one who's left available here is Yorick, actually.
Yorick
Yorick was actually banned out by unrestricted, but Meat Playground decided to not ban Shen, ban Diana instead, so unrestricted kind of took it upon themselves. So that is another Evelyn, more than likely a placeholder. We will see who that equals in a second, if that is indeed the pick. Rengar?
It could be Rengar.
Rengar? Maybe Corki.
Corki.
Actually, it's a good call to actually take the AD here. And Ezreal would be a really good choice, but you know what? Lulu might as well just go ahead and grab that support first. That's always a good call.
Yeah, and it's interesting how different teams evaluate Lulu, because some people really like Lulu. She can have a very strong lane with someone like Ezreal. You have that Ezreal-Lulu bot lane. You know, she makes your team just incredibly tanky, either protecting the AD carry, or if you have that frontline champion that you want to just, you know, boost up and not have die, then that could be very strong. She's strong at pushing the lane. But other teams kind of, there are a couple of people that think that she's worthless almost, like she's just not strong at all. Special in particular, he feels like Lulu is really just a weaker Soraka. Even, you know, she does have some different things that she brings to the table than Soraka. A lot of people recognize that Lulu, her positioning is very dangerous, and it's kind of a tenuous position that you're always putting yourself in with Lulu, because if you ever are just slightly out of position, you have no means of disengaging. Like, that's the big issue with Lulu, is that you're going to die very quickly if you just, you know, take a wrong step somewhere. So they will pick that up. Ezreal and Skarner going on to the other team. So once again, picking up the Skarner for unrestricted, but this time switching it up. We'll grab the Ezreal and keep it away from Meat Playground. Meat Playground didn't really care, though. They weren't that concerned. They were happy with either Ezreal or Corki, you know, so they were able to take the support first.
And, you know, you might as well just grab the other one. It's more of an expected thing. It's like, yeah, it's just whoever we're going to lose, we'll just take the other one. And it's not too uncommon in a lot of games like this to see character position swaps such as this. But Lee Sin coming here, locked on in, possible jungle, possible top lane. We will see in just a moment as soon as the rest of the picks stretch out. But that's the thing, though. You do have unrestricted. They're sticking with Skarner. They want to make sure that he's on their side. And for a time, he's actually doing really good for. He's really doing really good work for unrestricted. But as soon as that late game hit in, as soon as the ultra late game started hitting in, you saw that he was getting into his fights, melting immediately, not doing a whole lot. But Aurelia is open. Unrestricted gonna snipe her out.
Yeah, it's a really strong pick, going with the Blitzcrank as well. So, did Meat Playground have Blitzcrank last game?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, they did. So, kind of a switch up there. Will be a very strong lane. Blitzcrank does work out decently against Lulu. You can pick her off and, you know, try and get some kills there.
I was just trade whole teams while we're at it, you know. You got,
well, except for all the other picks, but yeah.
Blitz Aurelia as just, you know, you can keep Maokai and Ahri. We don't want them.
They're like, hey, I think that team you guys had worked out really well.
They can stay in the forest. They can just sit there with their butts on their tails and or branches or both or whatever. We'll keep the vital members for ourselves.
Why would someone be in the forest? Which champion are we talking about here?
Maokai.
Oh, Maokai, okay.
Oh, well, yeah, and Ahri can join him because
that's true. Ahri, they can hang out.
They can hang out a little bit. I mean, Maokai's lonely. He needs company. You know, he's a tree.
Is he lonely? But
anyway, I could make a significantly worse joke about
Lee
that, but I will restrain myself.
Lee Sin in the jungle. They could also send Lee Sin up top, but they do have some nice shields. So the Lee Sin and Lulu, they can, you know, defend one of their members.
So considering the last two picks,
I do know what joke you were going to make.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
It's an easy pun.
It's a very easy pun. I'm sure chat's already figured it out. They're smart like that. But you're still considering the last two picks here for Meat Playground, And picking up a Nautilus here would throw him in the jungle, would seal Lisa in top lane actually, but they're still malleable at this point on where they go. But I think they may be sticking for the Mord mid here, and Mord in mid, Lulu bot. And they could Beepleager could be looking for a little bit of a push comp here.
Yeah, it's kind of a very unusual team, but
yeah,
it does allow them to push lanes very easily, and we saw them from them in the last game. They wanted to pressure the lanes early by pushing them under the tower. They got an early farm advantage in a number of their lanes as a result, and then whenever they had team fights, they were always very safe in those team fights because all the lanes were pushed. So that will work out very well for them, but it is a very unusual team fight team. We'll kind of go into how that's going to work in a second. For the rest of them, they could go with like an Ahri here. That would be pretty strong. We'll see where they're actually going with that last pick. Is kind of interesting. Diana is banned off, but yeah. So there are a couple of champions that they want lots of survivability in their team. Yeah.
So basically it's their could be a Zyra. Oh, there we go. It will be a Zyra.
Zyra is really strong. So the nice thing with Zyra is that Zyra just wrecks Mordekaiser. Like it's Mordekaiser does well. He counters out most AP champs in lane. He actually is generally speaking a pretty hard counter to most AP characters, just because you have the burst damage and it wears down his shield, but you don't have the follow-up damage when his shield is down. So he's able to turn that around on you, and he can push you underneath the turret. Zyra, on the other hand, can kite very easily, and that's one of the biggest weaknesses for Mord is against a team that's going to be kiting you. Zyra has that. So Mord's going to try and run forward and be like, hey, I want to get a kill. Zyra throws off her snare. They all back up. They throw off their AoE. They kill him very easily, and he's never able to get into a fight. So that's going to be a really dangerous situation for them, and actually makes Zyra a really nice pick. And
one thing a lot of Mords also do, they already have the pushing power. They're already going to be looking to push the enemy into the turret, and what a lot of Mords will do, they'll not only go to their Wraith camp, but they'll also go to enemy Wraith camp with the E, get the blue Wraith, and just farm that out. Who steals Wraiths? Who farms Wraiths over walls better than Mord? Zyra can.
Yeah.
Throw the seed. You can actually just throw down the seed, throw down the Q, and just leave it even.
Yeah, and it's kind of, that's what you always expect from Mord, but it's also, it leaves him in a dangerous situation. Yeah. And Mord is someone that you expect to hit 200 CS in 20 minutes. Like that's a standard Mord game, and so you're going to be incredibly well farmed as Mord. He's one of the easiest farmers in the game. However, he doesn't have a lot of survivability early in the game. He's very squishy, and Zyra can abuse that. So one snare early on Mord will just easily tear him to pieces, and he has to walk into minion range. He has to walk into that snare range in order to farm. So he's going to be leaving himself vulnerable. Then whenever he goes over to this race, that's always when Mord is in the most dangerous situation, because if you have a ward over by your race, you can catch him out of position, and he needs to come around and walk around the Wraith wall in order to kill the race. He can't kill him from range like Zyra can. Zyra and a lot of other EP mids can kill the Wraiths over the wall. Mord can't do that, so it puts him in a dangerous situation, and Unrestricted might be able to capitalize on that.
Yeah, and also not to mention he doesn't have that many escapes. When that ult from Zyra goes down, if Mord does not have flash, he's screwed. Completely screwed. He has no way to really get out of that. And I'm surprised, actually, we're still in Champs Select. I'm actually surprised he's still going for the Ignite Flash. And it's not all too uncommon to sometimes see mids, on very rare occasions, actually get like Cleanse. But that's the thing, though. Mord, he relies on all that damage because he has nothing else. That's all Mord has is damage.
Well, if he had Cleanse, it would only be for Zyra. It would be a little bit for Aurelia, but not really that significant. If he doesn't have the Ignite, he's not going to have enough damage to take people down. Flash is standard. So Flash Ignite is basically standard on Mord. And it is a dangerous situation. So we'll see how he can play. He can sit off the line a little bit and use his shield to farm for him, so that'll help him some. But if Zyra can pressure him down, that could be a really dangerous situation.
What I do want to look at real quick though is I want to see what Pobelter is running in terms of runes and masteries here, because we've seen a little bit of deviation actually come on in terms of runes, in terms of masteries. We've seen like the spell vamp, we've seen like the spell vamp build. We've seen the pure AP going for AP and health here. Just wants to survive as much as possible. But the mastery is going to be 2190.
Yeah, pretty standard stuff for Mordekaiser. So just getting a lot of ability power and some defensive stats early on. Did he actually have armor for his? Yeah, he has armor or no magic resist. Okay.
He needs that. Yeah.
Yeah, so he has the magic resist. I was surprised for a second. I thought it was armor.
Yeah.
But that's definitely going to be really nice against Zyra.
I can't remember who it was, but there was a Mord not too long ago that actually was running the spell vamp Quince, and I was also expanding the utility tree to get that spell vamp.
Yeah, and he started off the game with
9%.
Yeah, 9% or 12.
Yeah.
I think it was it maybe 12? No,
It's
I guess it was 9%.
because the master tree gets you 3
right.
and the Quince gets you 6, which is kind of funny because I've actually started doing that build myself. Actually, it actually works out really well, and especially if you're someone like Mord. You can start off with a lucky pick, go straight into DFG, and you still have your sustain. It's crazy good.
Yeah, it is very strong, particularly where you want to do that is if you know you're going against a lane that doesn't have a lot of burst damage. If you know it's going to be slow harass against a slow harass lane, like if you're going against Mordekaiser against like Karthus or something, Karthus doesn't really have a lot of harass damage. That early spell vamp allows you to be just such a bully in lane and be extremely aggressive. Ahri going with some mana regen actually, so going down the utility as well.
Zyra.
Definitely, yeah, Zyra. So Zyra actually does need that spam ability. A lot of times you'll see Zyra go for the Chalice, needing that early spam ability, but I don't know. We'll have to see how that kind of plays out. So Meat Playground's team is very unusual, and the kind of thought on their team, they want to just overrun unrestricted. First off, they want to be able to win the lanes and farm in the lanes, so they have the pushing capabilities to do that. Their lanes are very strong. Aurelia versus Olaf is a very even matchup. Olaf has a little bit of a damage advantage, but Aurelia has the regen advantage and survivability early on. So that'll be kind of interesting to watch. But Meat Playground, they want to start off with an early advantage, and then if they have the early advantage, they're going to have this really tanky team that they're hoping is just going to be almost unkillable for Unrestricted. The big concern for Meat Playground is they have no means of initiation against Unrestricted, and Unrestricted has a very easy team to just escape and get out of there. Zyra has her kiting capabilities. Ezreal, he has his arcane shift. The rest of the team's pretty tanky, but Skarner, because he's going to be rushing a Shurelya's, that's going to give him some nice kiting capabilities along with the initiation advantage. So that's a really dangerous situation for Meat Playground, not having a way of hard initiating a fight. So in order for that team to work out for them, they need to be ahead in this game, or at the very least even coming into the mid game. And if that's the case, then they're going to have a very tanky team, and they're going to want to try and force objectives. If they can force objectives, then hopefully, as far as they're concerned, Unrestricted won't be able to fight them. They're just going to be so strong and so tanky that Unrestricted can't do anything, and that's kind of what they're hoping for in that situation.
Yep. And even if Meat Playground does fall behind, their only option is to just sit back and do nothing, because they have to wait for Unrestricted to engage in order for them to really do anything about it.
Yeah.
And they're best. It's basically Meat Playground's game to lose here. We're gonna find out very quickly.
It's Unrestricted's game to lose.
Well, it's Unrestricted's game to lose, but it's yeah. What am I saying? If we're gonna see very quickly, as soon as 10 minutes go by, how far the gold lead Meat Playground will have, if any. Yeah. And if they don't, they're in trouble. They're in huge trouble.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of interesting to see whether or not they can force something, because Unrestricted has a much easier time with forcing those fights, and that's going to be a serious advantage. They also have a really fast dragon team with the Zyra.
Look at Pobelter, 9 health potions and 2 wards.
That's actually it reminds me back of 1v1 days when 1v1 tournaments were a little bit more common, and Mordekaiser was actually the most broken champ in 1v1s at one point, and there were times where you would just start off with nothing but health pots on Mordekaiser because no one could deal enough damage. When you have the health pots going and when you have the shield going, no one can deal enough damage to you, and so it's really a funny situation that Pobelter's in, because the lack of the boots, it's going to slow down his item build a little bit, and it also means that he's going to be a much easier target for Zyra. However, as long as he doesn't get hit with a snare, he's almost going to be unkillable. Like, he's just going to be constantly at full health with those health pots. Pobelter,
I'd hate to tell you, but I think you have
a drinking problem.
I think you have a drinking problem.
I was like, is this?
I mean, there's some people I want you to talk to. They're a very good
first step,
group of people.
You have to apologize to Team Curse.
Yeah,
all the people in the past that you've wronged.
Apologize to Liquid. Apologize to Elements. Tell everyone I'm sorry for the way I've behaved all this time. It wasn't me. It was the health potions talking.
But in the meantime, unrestricted, they have a 3v2 here. It's actually turning into a 3v3, and they want to force this. And Pobelter, he's walking right into the team. Dreamy Ant, he actually has his Q, so Pobelter seems like he's okay, but there's the snare, and he does go down. The snare over the wall, and he didn't use his flash. He could have gotten out of there.
That's a very bad start. That's a really bad start. And Boots could have helped a little bit, but no, he had to have the potions. But we'll see where that goes from here. We'll see that where he carries them in the mid lane. Meanwhile, NK Inc. and Xhazer are still being chunked out as they think there's still a little bit of hope to grab this blue buff. But with all this distraction, NK Inc. is just so far behind at this point, though. And granted, he doesn't quite need blue buff, but it is the experience, is the gold that you get from taking the buff minions that's going to set him so far back. It
is actually a really nice job of them to stall for so long, though, because what it did is it allowed Mordekaiser to get back. And so Mordekaiser is now, even with Easy, slightly ahead, actually, because Easy, who got the kill? No, Easy got the kill. So Easy is still ahead, but if they had sat back and allowed them to take the blue, then Easy would be a full level ahead.
Right.
You know, maybe more, like almost 2 levels ahead. But if you see, they're almost dead even as far as experience is concerned, and they stalled for almost a full minute. But Zakaru, he has the slow, the flash, actually avoiding that snare. And actually, Zakaru with the flash as well, we'll be able to chase him down. The slow goes off, but Skarner has enough early damage to take him down.
NK was far behind to begin with. Now it's just a struggle. He's still level 1. Pobelter couldn't even get in position for a safeguard because Lisa just, I don't even think he even bought that first. I think he actually bought the wave first. No, he bought the Tempest first.
He had the slow first.
The Tempest first. He got Easy, though. Is still taking a huge chunk of damage. Pobelter, he still has all that damage capability. He has it. He still has it. It's just a matter of trying to connect. There you go. Nice flash. You got the Q. The passive, no, actually misses. But Zakaru should be able to capitalize. Ding's level 3 on that kill. Skarner is 4 minutes. He's 2-0-1 already.
Yeah, and that's really dangerous. But the hook underneath the turret, Light Sludge. Fortunately, there was 1 minion left. And Norse Champ, they do actually proc the mana shield. So really nice job there, able to turn that around. Skarner is incredibly strong. And that's actually, it was interesting to see the Mordekaiser-Zyra exchange, because Mordekaiser was able to just chase Zyra down at this point in the game. Zyra, the early mana pool just isn't long enough for her to sustain those long fights. And so Zyra very quickly ran out of mana, and Pobelter was able to just still chase him down with all those health pots remaining. He has still has 7 left, so he's still incredibly strong. He has the boots. He bought 2 wards. Yep. So that basically signifies that he's planning on just farming forever. However, with Skarner being this far ahead, it's a really dangerous situation because Skarner has the mobility to close the gap and has the damage to follow up on it.
And once Zakaru is 6, which actually shouldn't be very long from now, you're going to see Skarner camping out in mid because, like we've mentioned before, Mord, he has no escape options, especially now that his flash is down. So really what NK Inc. is going to have to do is that he's going to have to sit back, he's going to have to farm in the jungle where he can, and he's not going to be able to visit top, he's not going to be able to visit bot. He needs to stay by mid just to give that little extra helping hand to Pobelter. Otherwise, he's just gonna he's gonna get ganked repeatedly.
Oh, but Zakaru, because he's so far ahead and that blue buff is about to wear off, he's actually looking to pass that blue to Zyra so she can abuse that bottom lane, but he is coming down bot, or so she can abuse the mid lane. He is coming down bot to make sure they don't go after a dive on Blitzcrank, and then maybe turn it around with a kill of his own.
You got the grab, nice grab onto the Locust with the pop-up. Should be able to be enough damage. The Ignite actually still going down to exhaust. Nice, well-timed on Zakaru. Light Switch still needs to get out of there. He is out of mana. He cannot Valkyrie away. Should be plenty of damage from Skarner to finish this one off, and there you go. Another kill for the Scorpion.
Yeah, he's just so strong right now. Lee Sin coming in, trying to steal this blue buff. It is very low. He does get the smite off, so he's able to actually grab it. That's a really nice play by NK Inc. Seeing that Skarner was bottom, he's able to take advantage of that. But they need a way to prevent Skarner from snowballing this game, because Skarner snowballs very quickly as an early jungle. Dreamy Ant going on to Xhazer with that Ignite, but Xhazard's able to ghost away, so he is okay. But Skarner works out very well against Mordekaiser, and Mord walking in on him once again, but Skarner is actually very low. though. The Q in from Lee Sin. Can they pick up the kill?
Yes.
One more attack they do. And with the shield
Wow.
from NK Inc., they can maybe chase down Pobelter. The red buff, NK Inc., he's actually, just not able to hit the Q. And so Easy is able to back off. But a nice little turnaround. And the gold is even, but the bigger deal is that Pobelter is able to snowball a little bit ahead of Skarner.
Got 6. We'll be able to drain Easy's health away, and there you go. Was just within range. And you know what? Easy's also not within range of Pobelter. But with this Ghost, with Easy's Ghost, should actually be able to provide a lot of pressure on the mid-tier 1. Just having that Ghost provides so much extra damage, provides so much pushing power, but Zacharoo is here in mid, looking to also take out his, well, still teammate.
His fallen comrade. Yeah, so he will defend against that mid lane, but really nice job from Pobelter, being extremely aggressive in the mid lane, really wants to snowball that lane very quickly, and Mordekaiser does have really great snowball potential. So, you know, we'll see how that kind of factors in. He goes with the Sork Shoes, the hook not going to hit. He goes with the Blasting One after that. So, you know, kind of an unusual build, but we'll see where he goes from it, because it's not, you know, Blasting One in and of itself, all the items that Blasting One would build into, unless he's rushing a Rabadon's, there's cheaper items that you could maybe get. So, you know, we'll see where he goes. He could also go for like a Rylai's, though we haven't really seen a Rylai's build on Mord in a long time. If you wanted to go for an Abyssal Scepter, usually you would want to go for something like a DFG or the Null Magic Mantle first, or not, the Negatron Cloak first, so you have a little bit more survivability. Yeah. And then not going for the Hex Tech either, so we'll see how he continues, but he will have a lot of damage, and that's all he wants, really. He just wants to abuse Zyra in that mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, well, Boots... I'm thinking Rylai's. I'm not quite sure if that is indeed where we're going to be going. But here's the thing, though. The boot, even forgetting about the rod just for a second, the tier 2 boots now in mid, though, going to be doing quite a bit of pain in the mid.
Yeah, it will be incredibly strong. That burst damage is going to be really difficult to deal with. Locust is pretty low, though, and Norse Champ just hit 6, so he wants to get in there. If he gets the hook, he will be able to pick that up, but right in the middle between the two of them. And Corki actually turning it around. The juke from Locust, he's able to get out of there. The Valkyrie in. Light Sludge is knocked up, though, so Norse Champ should be able to get away, but he is very low. Does he have his mana barrier? He does, so just barely. No, he does not, so actually just not quite able to survive. Nice
forcing out the flashman. Meanwhile, in mid, let's go see what happened there just real quick. You did have the nice kill coming in from Mord. Did take a good turret shot there. Still drinking those potions. He still has a few, but the flash ult from Zacharoo is just going to be a little bit too much. And Pobelter actually flashes offensively just to try and make that kill on Easy happen. Does get it, but the assist does still go to unrestricted.
Yeah, so in even exchange, he's able to take advantage of that. Skarner does get another assist. Or did Skarner get the kill, or did Zyra? I think Zyra got the kill, right?
Yeah, Skarner got an assist on that.
Okay, yeah, so Skarner does get another assist, but you know, still, it's keeping Pobelter ahead in that mid lane, and he is going for that Abyssal Scepter. So going for the damage first, as opposed for the Negatron Cloak. And Abyssal Scepter is probably the most common item in Mord's build currently. You know, you could go with the slow for the Rylai's, but Dreamy Ant chasing down X Hazard almost has enough damage. One more attack, but he won't quite be able to finish it off. The Ghost is just too much along with that ultimate, so he is safe. So one of the things, like, Mord's actually had kind of an interesting evolution for his item build, because it used to be Gunblade. Before that was nerfed, it was, you know, the greatest item on him, because you were just unkillable, but you had so much burst damage. You would Gunblade someone for the slow, and then just killed them with your ultimate. Then it was into the Rylai's, and that was also pretty common. So you could get a slow on your ultimate, and since he didn't have any natural CC on his own, it was always very easy to kite Mord, and that was always your biggest concern. But he's moved into that kind of tanky build now recently, where we've been seeing that DFG Abyssal Scepter on everyone, and it's worked out fairly well for him.
Nice, threading the needle once again. Norse Champ will not get anything off that grab. Valiant still getting chunked out huge, but the ult from Blitz gonna keep everyone silent. The ult once again gonna whiff on Ezreal, and Blitz will go down in that exchange. Locust and Light Switch grabbing that kill. Pobelter still back here in mid. Easy trying to get whatever damage possible, but Zyra has now fallen a level behind the Mord. But as I've said before, Zacharoo in the mid looking to camp, does have the Oracles too to clear out the vision from Pobelter. The Impale is up, cannot close the gap. Pobelter will be safe, but for how long?
And it's not just a level behind, but also 30 CS behind on one of the strongest farmers in the game. Usually you don't expect Zyra to fall behind on farm, but Pobelter, he's been actually zoning Zyra for a lot of this level. Zakaru is coming to the bottom lane, though. He does have the oracles. He sees the ward, but he's trying to get in. He will be able to get the pull on the Light Sludge, who's in a really dangerous situation. Maybe he's going to try and pick up the kill on the Valiant, the Exhaust, and they're very close to picking it up along with Lulu. Lee Sin is coming in as well. We'll be able to shield in the Lulu ultimate, and if they can pick that up, but just barely not able to. Lee Sin not quite able to get in. I lost track of Lee Sin for a second. I was like, where did he go?
Nice kill, though.
But yeah, able to pick that up in the end.
Beautiful kick onto Ezreal, just within turret range. Manages to get the one orb you needed, and NK will actually get the credit for that one. Pobelter forcing the ult out from Easy there in the mid, and that E harass is just so massive for Mord right now. I hate to be in Easy's shoes right now.
Yeah, and the E from Mord is actually slightly longer range. I think it's 550, I think, so it might be 600. It's actually probably 600, which puts it, I know it's slightly longer range than most AP carries attack range, so Mord is able to, whenever an AP carry goes in for a last hit, you just chase them down as Mordekaiser and you get that damage. However, Zyra's snare range is definitely longer, so you know, if Zyra can play a little bit more defensively, sit up and farm whenever Mord tries to chase her down, he's vulnerable to that attack. In the meantime, Dreamyet, he is going to be able to grab that kill onto X-Hazard, so nice job there.
So yeah, I hate to see Olaf in a situation like that. He has the Ninja Tabby plus 2 shields. Ult from Mord going down onto Easy. Does not care about the turret shots. He just wants to make sure he can actually secure that kill into the Zyra. But once again, though, does give up an assist credit to Unrestricted.
That is kind of annoying, though. Yeah, he does go even. It is kind of annoying that even though he gets the kill on Zyra, he doesn't proc the ultimate until after Zyra gets out of her passive, similar with Kog and with Karthus. So that kind of, it'll hurt him in fights, just as it does with those champions. You know, even if he can burst down Zyra, he won't get the ghost quite away. So that's kind of a detriment. But Ezreal, really nice job recognizing that Pobelter is just unrelenting in the mid lane. Like he's being extremely aggressive, but he's almost being over aggressive. Like he just doesn't even care about any pressure from Unrestricted. So leaving himself vulnerable, it opens up an opportunity for Ezreal. But once again, Dreamyet looking for these kills, gets the slow onto NK Inc. He's very close to getting it, throws off the ignite. I swear he had just used that, but Aurelia not quite able to pick it up. Lee Sin does get out of there.
Just barely too. So we had our little pregame conversation. We talked a little bit about gold leads, and I mentioned around like 10 minutes into the game, whoever had the lead. And right now, it's a very minimal lead for Meat Playground right now. Do you think that's actually going to start spiraling out soon, or as things have things kind of stabilized?
I think as long as they're not grouping up as a team, then this lead is going to just easily build for Meat Playground. There's no question about it. The snare and then the Skarner ultimate actually pulling him out of the ult from Zyra. And so Pobelter, he's almost tanky enough to take this, but Skarner's going to easily chase him down. Skarner is so strong. So, you know, Skarner can do work, and that's what they want. They want Skarner to get ahead, and then they want to be able to group up as a team. They will be able to come down and take this dragon. So that's actually going to be a really nice opportunity for Unrestricted. But anyway, as long as Meat Playground doesn't allow Unrestricted to force team fights, then they're already doing well in their lanes. They're winning the mid lane, and they're crushing the bottom lane. And so they're going to be able to just, you know, start to deny CS in those lanes and pull ahead. This is going to be a nice little lead. Oh, actually, the steal for Lee Sin, and then the ward to get out of there. NK Inc. with the super play. So yeah, with a nice gold lead, now they're up just over a K, and as long as Unrestricted doesn't group up, Meat Playground is easily going to pressure this advantage. And there's not a lot of opportunities for Unrestricted to group up at this point. There's no dragon. They can't pressure Baron. It's 15 minutes. They can't pressure turrets. You know, they could consider roaming as a team, but really, if they did, then Meat Playground would just pull ahead and farm.
What does concern me, though, is top lane, and you see Dreamyet right now just tossing around X-Hazard, just like something you would toss. I can't think of anything right now.
Like a ragdoll.
Like a ragdoll, sure, there we go. But we saw how ridiculous Aurelia got last game, you know, in the hands of Meat Playground. And right now, it's very much looking like it may be the same here. Olaf, he's not doing all too great, and you can see how well Dreamyet can just push him around at this point. Aurelia may be a very huge obstacle for Pobelter to deal with also.
Yeah, but X-Hazard has done a really nice job of keeping up in farm regardless. Aurelia does have a little bit of an advantage there, but only 5 CS over Olaf, despite the fact that she seems to be abusing him right now. And we'll see how he itemizes. He does have a lot of armor, so that helps protect against a lot of that damage. And NK Inc. is here. They actually want to bait it in. They do take the mid turret, but they still want this Aurelia kill.
Yep. And one of the best things, too, is that if you are being harassed down, if you are being pushed around top lane, missing out on a few CS, that's fine. As long as you don't die, that's the most important part. Ignite going down onto Dreamy, and you got Ganking and X-Hazard. They are here. The kick into the wall. Leeson will grab that kill. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, you got Locust with the ult on himself, trying to get away from the Scar, but Podelter getting a quick kill onto the Blitz. He's got a robot ghost. We'll see how that does. Nice kill onto Valiant, but Easy should be able to clean up the Corki. But meanwhile, Skarner chasing down that Mord. Zyra with a kill onto the Corki. And just Locust on Lulu. Is left to his own devices, needs to retreat, will actually get to the tier 1 in bot. But meanwhile, you got the bros here top lane grabbing the tier 1 there.
Yeah, but Skarner's gonna be able to grab Locust underneath the turret.
Still up?
He's tanking that pretty easily, so he's gonna grab that. Yeah, he didn't really have a need. So once the fight had happened, he was just chasing down Mordekaiser. He had the slow from his Q. So it is a pretty even exchange. They're able to grab the top turret though. Mid turret is pretty low. Zyra actually hasn't had an opportunity to push it much because of Mordekaiser. Yeah. So that does work in Meat Playground's favor. They actually have a 3K gold lead right now.
2K.
Zakaru,
there you go.
Grabbing the tower now. Yeah, it does become a 2K. So that helps even it out some and actually move that last fight in their favor.
This is just a ridiculous game. It's just like, man, you got Mordekaiser starting off with a drinking problem, and then you have all these entertaining team fights. Nice grab on the Podelter in mid. Norse champ, he stuck around for that, and he knows why.
Valiant was like, what are you doing? Get him away from me.
I don't want this guy with this huge mace.
I want to live.
Busting my skull open. Oh my god, that reminds me too, because there's that one picture on Reddit a while back of that guy who made the Mordekaiser mace. I just realized, I'm making this for PAX. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to see that guy.
Oh, very cool.
That's going to be awesome.
Seen that.
Dude, the thing's like 6 feet tall, dude.
Does he wear it? Does he have like a friend that dresses as Mordekaiser and he goes as the mace and they're like best friends? It's like his best friend Plank.
That'd be awesome.
6 feet tall isn't a mace that you use. That's a costume. We'll see.
It just dawned on me that I'm going to see that guy.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, in the meantime, it is a very even game. But Meat Playground, they've been able to get a nice little early lead. Olaf definitely works very well with their team because he's really the only one that they will not have an easy job of kiting. With that ultimate, with the Ghost, he can dive in there with the Lulu ultimate as well. He's going to be incredibly tanky. So we'll see where he goes. He is going for that Frozen Heart, but Skarner is up top. Leeson is here as well. X-Hazard tried to pick up the kill onto Aurelia, but I'm not sure that they're going to have it. Lulu is trying to come up. If they can just stall for Lulu, and it seems they will be able to, and then turn this around and try and get this kill.
Locust with the glitter lance will actually get both Aurelia and Skarner. Looking for Ganking. Nice flash and kick. Should get the kill on Dreamy Ant. There you go. And Zakaru is now in a full retreat just to get back to his own tower. He will be safe. Does not want to lose that Oracles. He got Blitzcrank moving on into top lane too, just for a little bit extra coverage. But there is a potential for a 5-man push on either mid or top. It's just a matter of where Meat Playground wants to be. You do have Valiant is spotted alone down bot lane. That's not where he wants to be right now. He needs to be here to defend.
Yeah, NK Inc. with the slick plays all day. I
Fancy
like your
footwork,
style.
Man.
Yeah, really nice job. I'm going to take a look at that ult once again. As Lulu comes in, they're able to turn that around. Yeah, so really nice play. And in these small fighting situations,
slow that sweetness down.
I got it for you. Oh, there it is.
Got the Skarner net too. That's great.
Yeah. But it's pretty cool because it's in these small fighting situations, that's where Meat Playground is at their best potential.
Yes.
Like Mordekaiser he could 2v1 anyone really at this point, like, or almost anyone. He's so strong. Skarner, he's having an issue with, but he's so strong that he can almost 2v1 anyone, and will be very strong. So we'll see. Hopefully everything's okay. He does reconnect just in time.
Wow.
I am so good at this.
Your timing is impeccable.
But So, like, in these small fights, Lulu's very strong in small fights. Olaf is very strong in small fights. You know, Mordekaiser is, and that's what they want to do. So they're split pushing unrestricted. They're forcing them to defend multiple lanes. Ezreal was defending bot and pushing that back. Zyra is defending mid against Mordekaiser, and it's allowing them these small fights.
You know, now with the lead, and we're talking about, oh, nice hook down onto xHazard. We're actually keeping him behind, but I don't think Turo is quite aggroing him. You do have the Lulu ult, just keep him safe a little bit. Locust, though, is caught out in the back, and Pale is not up, though. Locust looking to make the Scorpion into a kitty, but will actually fall in the process. Olaf is actually there. He's looking to be the next one on a chopping block. Blitz will not be able to get his speed to get that hook or get anything else.
Yeah, and if Unrestricted can start to force fights, then they can focus people down. They have, you know, a pretty tanky team themselves. They have a lot of burst, single target burst potential, so that they can pick up those kills like that. And there's one of the issues with Lulu is that there's no disengage in Lulu. You can get caught out of position very easily, and Unrestricted takes advantage of it.
So we're talking about the initiation possibilities for Meat Playground, of which there are none. But we're talking about Unrestricted being the ones to have to make the plays, have to make the calls, then decide where the team fights and when the team fights are actually going to happen. And now I'm seeing that's really putting Unrestricted in a very precarious situation, because if they don't take the opportunities to initiate, it allows time for Meat Playground to farm up more and to push more and to grab objectives more. If they do, the damage is just a little bit too much to deal with. Easy right there on the backline. xHazard looking to come on in. Will there be another Dragon pickup for Meat Playground? But you do have the Impale coming down onto the Lee Sin, and xHazard taking care of the Zyra. No problem. Olaf, he's got the ult popped and primed, trying to take down some more, but you got the nice damage. Coming in for Pobelter. 6-man Baron grab.
Wow.
Sounds pretty good.
They absolutely abused them in that fight. Like, they just stomped all over them. Locust actually getting hooked. Will drop very, very quickly. He gets the flash out, but he will go down. But Dreamy Ant's actually in a dangerous situation. The red buff from Light Sludge, can it be enough to pick him up? The flash in. One more attack, just not able to grab it. The Lee Sin, he can't get it. Where are those moves? Show me your moves.
Something, anything.
But he can't get it, and yeah, so they will back off. But even so, it was a really nice fight for Meat Playground, and it's interesting to me that Olaf has been able to chase down these members so effectively. The Ghost, along with his ultimate, they're not able to kite him out, and he's the one that forces the fights for him. And so, one interesting thing about Olaf's build, usually against an Aurelia or in a lot of lanes...
That push is warded! Okay, I'm sorry.
Usually, no, you're... Hey, I was watching it too. Usually against Aurelia or in most lanes, Olaf will go for the fast double gold pretend. He'll go for that Philosopher's Stone and go for that Heart of Gold. And this is actually kind of an unusual build to rush that Frozen Heart. However, he knows that he gets the Frozen Heart out early. It allows him to farm successfully against Aurelia, and he knows that he's going to be tanky enough in these early fights. So he's very tanky at this point. He has a lot of HP as well as that armor, and he's just forcing the fights. He just needs to dive right into him. The hook back onto Mordekaiser. I'm not sure they have the damage though. The Lulu ultimate as well. And Pobelter actually runs away from it, a little bit concerned.
But he's just trying to kite out. He's trying to see if he can't bait anything more coming on in. Nice kill onto Easy. Corgi following up, and the ult for the double kill onto the robot. And you know what? With a Blitzcrank helper, I think that can be a Baron.
It's a helper robot.
It's a helper robot.
Yeah, they will be able to take down...
it's not quite like a... Yeah,
they'll call him helper.
This is not quite like a Roomba, but he helps. He's
Dear
a good
God,
tank.
how does it know where to go?
I know. It's like magic. It's crazy.
Yeah, but they are able to pick up this Baron very easily. Aurelia jumping in. Not quite enough. The flash in from Zakaru, but they're going to be able to kite him very easily. And they do pick up that kill.
Wow.
So there you have it.
Steamroller,
really
man.
Nice play from Meat Playground. They're abusing them. Olaf trying to chase down Dreamy and can't quite get it. I have to wonder, does that mean that we might have a surrender? The Lee Sin with the Q in, the flash once again, the knockback. xHazard barely surviving, has the shield as well. NK Ink very low, he does go down. But they have the Baron, and they are very close to taking a tower as well.
It's such a threat for Unrestricted to even try and do anything to this team. Granted, you know, if the opportunity is going to happen, this is it. Meat Playground, they are still very low. The hook, not going to be granted who they want. Will get Pobelter. He'll just go ahead and get a nice quick E. But the ult will now actually get that Locust kill. Finally hit that mark with that. But xHazard is very low. Light Sludge, he's at health, half health there. But Pobelter, he's fine.
He's just hanging out.
Every time, like,
he's like, sorry, was this your blue?
That last fight, just like Pobelter's just like standing right in front of that blitz hook. He's just like, I really don't care if you hook me. It's just it's. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm just gonna do damage.
It's funny because that's one of the weaknesses of Mordekaiser is
so weird.
Just those fast disables and silences that Blitzcrank has. But he's tanky enough; they're not able to burst him down enough, and then he turns it around. So he's fine with being the meat shield for Meat Playground.
Yeah.
He's able to turn that around. They do get the tower there, so unrestricted. That helps pull them back in by pushing. They reduce the opportunities for Meat Playground to take turrets. So Aurelia will, farm this top lane. She can clear that wave pretty easily. And we'll see how they try and force it. But at this point, Aurelia and Skarner are going to really struggle because of how tanky and how strong the frontline damage is for Meat Playground. And NK Inc., he catches himself a plant, and he gets the kick. He gets the kill.
Wow. I want a damage check right now on Mordekaiser. I want to know how much damage Pobelter's capable of doing in these fights, because it's ridiculous. 548 AP at the moment, charging straight on in. You got X-Hazard running the point, gets a kill. Another helper robot ghost. It's just a shame that you can't use the hook with that ability. Zachary is caught out on his own here. The more kills coming on in. You got the Impale trying to do something, but it will not be enough. Valiant and Dreamian are here to try and push back the Meat Steamroller. While we're paused, actually, go back. I want to see how much damage Pobelter's E does at this point. It's got to be huge.
Yeah, it's a significant margin. I'll let you guys check out that last fight while we're taking a look at it. Oh, actually, we can check out the Lee Sin, the kick.
Boom. So good.
So yeah, Pobelter is very strong. He has 500 ability power, so his E is actually dealing 500 damage a hit on his E. His ultimate, it
eventually drains half, I believe.
Yeah, it's a pretty significant amount.
Wow.
It's half of the damage over time. But yeah, they're able to bully them around. Skarner was stuck here as well. And so that's actually going to be an inhibitor for Meat Playground. They're going to take that fairly easily. And I don't know, we'll see if they can turn it around. Light Sludge, oh, that's right, Light Sludge DC. That's why that's not an inhibitor.
Yeah.
So, if Light Sludge comes back, he has reconnected now. So hopefully, everything's okay. But I don't know, they have such a huge gold lead. You just see at this point, their team is overrunning unrestricted. They're just way too tanky for them, and they're just bullying them around. Absolute
steamroller. Just you can't stop that thing from rolling. And but running this comp though, it was a considerable risk, and you saw how very early on that the plan could have gone very sour. But fortunately enough, Meat Playground was able to rebound. Zachary, he was ridiculous for a time, but that is no longer the case. The damage is just a little bit too much for unrestricted to handle at this point. And I mean, I just want to say it straight out: 9-pot, 2-ward Mordekaiser. Kids, do not try this at home. These are experts here. You may get hurt. It happened quite a while ago, and as soon as the unpause happened, unrestricted voted for forfeit, and Meat Playground won. So there you go.
Yeah, so really nice job by Meat Playground. Kind of an unusual situation. The game wasn't over, but Meat Playground was so far ahead. They, had such a monumental lead. They were almost certainly going to win. So, really nice sports, unrestricted. And they're a serious team. They have been for a long time. It's not that they're clearly disheartened or feel like they didn't have a chance in that game, but they recognize the situation. They're like, Light Sludge is done. He completely DC'd, and we don't want to force a remake, because that's really what it came down to. It was a remake or unrestricted, accepting the loss. So really nice play by them, and it was a really fun match to be able to check out. Unfortunately, a bit of a delay, but there it is. Team Meat Playground 2-0 over unrestricted.
That is the official ruling. They will be moving on to the round of 8, and we'll play the winner of Mono Ultimus and Curse NA. If Curse NA decides to move on, it's going to be a very nice awkward rematch from IPL Elites. So we'll see how that goes. But with that, I do want to remind you guys. You've been warned. Don't 9-potion 2-ward Mordekaiser mid. First off, second.
Why? It's fine.
I'm telling you, just fair warning.
It's good.
Fair warning. If I see anybody with that in solo queue, I'm dodging. I'm saying that right now. No.
Oh, no. Wow. What a dodger.
I am. Dude, I get so many trolls, dude.
Draft dodger.
I get so many trolls. So many trolls.
Do you pretend that you have like a weak ankle or like a medical condition?
No, I pretend I'm a drunk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good too. But and drinks. No, we will be back. We will be back tomorrow. Gonna get still one more set of matches in before everyone starts packing up and going over to PAX Prime. But we also have our Twitters. Might want to go ahead, follow those down there. Facebook.com/IGNProLeague. Same thing on Twitter. And I believe we're still seeing we're still doing the autograph contest.
Yeah, I think so.
Face off as well.
Yeah, so IGN.com/IPL. It will be in the headlines, I think, if you can find it there. You can also go to Facebook.com/IGNProLeague. Take a look at that. I love our IPL5 page, so
dude,
always take a look at that.
It's very pretty.
IGN.com/IPL. Then on the right side, there's a little IPL5 giant logo. Just click on that, and you can scroll down and click on League of Legends.
Yep, and with that though, I think we are pretty much done for today. We will see you guys once again tomorrow. And I'm not sure if we're going to have an EU, but we for sure.
I do think it's funny now. Light Sledge is telling me that he's been trying to message us on the Twitch chat saying that the game has been over for 10 minutes now. Which means that all of you guys know that the game has been over for 10 minutes now. But we don't, aren't capable of having open the chat. I mean, we could, but we have a lot of stuff running and not enough monitors.
Our lifeline, our only lifeline to the outside world while we're inside this booth is Mr. Nick Allen.
And he was AFK. He was not. He didn't have our backs. But thanks, guys, for watching.
Thanks, Nick.
Was a cool match. And yeah, we'll take a look for the NA regionals. Definitely really excited. Who do you have as your top three? I mean, it's
my top three.
I feel like everyone's like 95% of people are going to have the same top three.
I agree too. I mean, I think it's pretty clear. TSM, Dignitas, and Curse.
So then the Curse. Oh, and Curse.
Yeah.
Not CLG?
No.
Wow.
No.
That's actually surprising to me. That's the only guy I know that has that opinion, because CLG, I think, is very strong right now.
I actually,
even though they're a mystery, they're a big mystery.
I do share the same opinion with Nick Allen, so now you know two people.
Nick Allen, he has CLG winning the whole thing.
Not from what I saw. Not from the guesses I saw him make.
I saw those guesses. He has CLG winning the whole thing. I think you looked at the wrong person. You looked at Travis Riley, maybe.
I think
he was right next to Nick Allen's name, because I saw someone had Curse as one of the top picks and no CLG, and I was like, what the hell? And I saw Nick Allen. I realized no, it's Travis Riley. They were right next to each other. So I'm guessing that's what it was, but we'll see.
It could be.
I'm gonna yell at Nick though if he has CLG losing.
We'll see. We'll see.
He just said right in that video. I just watched a video there. He says CLG wins it all. Regardless, it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. See, in order for Curse to, do you have Curse as number 3?
I have Curse third.
Okay, so that means TSM beats Curse, and then Curse beats CLG presumably, or CLG loses to someone else. And I don't know. That would be interesting to see. But CLG, I think they're going to be really surprising a lot of people. I think they've been training hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or they could have just been sleeping this whole time.
Here's the thing.
Playing Guild Wars.
Statistically speaking, it's going to be CLG and Dignitas in semifinals.
Okay.
So those are, CLG has been spending all this time training in Korea, trying to get the edge up on the NA teams. And who are they going to face in the semifinals? The only other NA team that's been to Korea.
And CLG's the better NA team that's been to Korea. Actually, I really like Dignitas a lot. I'm not saying that CLG's easily better than Dignitas.
I like Dignitas more to pick them.
I think CLG is. I think they're going to. Watching the CLG EU versus CLG NA games in OGN. Really excited me. The kind of strategies they were pulling out, and the fact that they've always been one of the strongest teamfight teams and split pushing teams. I think that everyone's going to be very surprised by CLG. I wouldn't be surprised if they turn out to be the best team in the NA. I think that TSM is going to win it. I have TSM number 1, but I wouldn't be surprised if CLG turns out to be the best team. Dignitas is very strong as well, though.
But you know what? Well, there's only one way to find out.
There is only one way to find out.
We have to wait till this weekend. Yeah, we will see you guys once again tomorrow, possibly with more conflicting picks. And, hey, until then, thanks for sticking around with us for that super extra long pause that we didn't know ended. But with that, we'll see you guys once again tomorrow for more IPL5 qualifier action. Later.